Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're coming to us from. And welcome to the FKT Showdown. This is going to be the conclusion of the Bay Circuit Trail with Cole Crosby. He is very close to the finish. We are here. We're going to be live. We're going to try and get a live feed of them from the beach. And I might have a special guest this morning. So thank you guys for joining in and following along this amazing route. Let's go straight to the tracker and see where he is at the moment. Sorry there. All right. We are 2 days, 5 hours, 51 minutes in. So that's 53 hours and 51 minutes. You can see that he is so close to the finish. If we look at Matt Ditt, our tracker of our previous FKT, he would have been around mile 122. Cole is about 100 miles ahead of that pace. Incredible. He is currently heading out to Plum Island. This was 1 minute ago, mile 217. The finish, of course, at 218.8. So he is very, very close. Truly incredible. Looks like we're joined here by Patrick Karen. Let me see if I can get him unmuted and in the room. Patrick, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can. Thanks for joining. It's pretty exciting. They are, it looks like Cole is very close to the end here.
Yeah, I know. It's it all happened really quick, I feel like.
I feel you.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
He's like 100 miles ahead of the current FKT, which is amazing.
Yeah, pretty wild. Pretty incredible. I mean, I've been following fairly closely the last, I guess, 2 days and however many hours. And I don't know, you just go about your day and you check in a couple hours later and it's, another 20 miles gone by. But it's really impressive what Cole's been doing.
Absolutely. We're going to go check in with Kelsey and the crew here real quick. Good morning. Can you hear me? We might need you to unmute.
Yes.
There we go.
There we go. How are you?
Good morning. How's it going out there? It looks cold.
It's going. It's pretty windy. Oh yeah, it's cold. It's windy. It's a lot windier on the ocean front than it was in the hiking trails. So.
Nice. It looks like he's maybe about a mile away. Is that correct? Mile and a half?
Yes. He's just about a mile and a half away. He's running with a pacer, previous FKT holder, Matt Ditt. Dib. I've got to say dibs all the time. I'm sorry. But yeah, they should be those two and Ben should be here in about 15 minutes or so.
Nice. Can you give us an update? I guess since our last check-in, I think we were last checking in mile 166. So through the night and into the morning, how'd it go?
How did it go through the night?
It went
I was not. Yeah.
We're gonna hand off.
Thanks.
You jump on over here with me.
Yeah, so how'd it go through
Hi,
the
Janelle.
night? Hey there.
Good. It was really good. It was a long, cold night. He went through a couple of rough patches. I'm sorry, my hand.
Your hand's a little bit in the way.
Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. Let's try this again.
Perfect.
It went great. We had some just leg issues, tired legs like any race, any long. And, kept with the Theragun, kept massaging, took his long nap, started to come up, and he had a new person. So, the night was cold, and then he just woke up, and he's been just
Nice. That's awesome. You guys are breaking up a little tiny bit there, but we got most of that. I think, he sounds like massaging the legs, getting through that tough stretch overnight. And then, are his spirits are good, though? I mean, it's got to be good now. Like, he's almost done.
Yeah, he's in a great mood.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's been in a great mood all day. He's hyping everybody up. Looks like he's 0.8 miles away. And every session has just been kind of a couple bites of food to get him through the next little leg. We didn't have much left to do today, so it's kind of easy going. We've had incredible weather. The first day being, rain, cold, and intense fog overnight. And he ran through that on leaves falling, trails. It's pretty bouldery, small boulders. You're doing a lot of footwork, and you have a lot of trail routes, and then you get into the kind of situation, and you have more elevation than you expect, because you don't think of New England as having elevation, but over the course of this 2 days, he's done 14,000 feet. And it bears on you, and then you're running on slippery rocks and slippery leaves. New England's known for having their foliage. Well, it's all on the ground right now, and it's been kind of tough to run on. So I know that he wasn't expecting his legs to be so tired. So going into the night last night, it was a little bit of a tough mental game going on. So once we were able to troubleshoot some issues and get him a good nap, he woke up today, he's feeling great, being, I think, extremely grateful just to everyone who's come out onto the course. We had a lot of local people that we met through this event. So it's been awesome to just see people who run these trails in different sections all the time come out and help chase him and bring him scones, and children coming out and saying hi. So I think that's just keeping him in a great mood.
That's awesome. Have the crew stops been as efficient, like 2 to 3 minutes, or were there some longer ones for different reasons in the past 24 hours?
Yeah, so last night he was off course by about 40 minutes, and it really it upset him. So he had to do a 15-minute power nap to reset a little bit and get him back into the game going into the night. He ended up in a long overnight stretch that was about 17 miles, and when he came into that stretch, he was ready for an hour-and-a-half nap. So we did longer stretches or longer stops in the night. The crew was completely on point. And we've got to go outside and catch him because he's coming up in next.
All right.
Yeah. That's to me.
All right. Looks like the crew's going to head out there towards the finish.
I want to know whether he's finishing with a cold plunge in the ocean.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we can get some service out by the water. There we go.
I don't know how you feel about it's cold. Yeah, I was thinking on the pit stops, but I wasn't about. I had no clean clothes for penguin plunge. But you guys.
If you're just tuning in, we're live here. What would you call this area, Patrick? Is this Plum Island? Newberry Beach.
I don't know if
Newberry Beach. I can hear him cheering already.
yeah, they probably can see him for a ways away. It's pretty flat.
Yeah. So here we are.
Coming up in about 500, 600 feet.
500 or 600 feet here. If you're just tuning in, we have Cole Crosby. He's finishing the Bay Circuit Trail here. The FKT 220 attempt. It's going to be successful by a wide margin. We are just at 54 hours right now. You can see him on screen there, coming in strong. Look at him go. All right. There he goes. Super exciting. I can't imagine how great that feels. Patrick, you think he's just going to plunge right in, huh? Maybe?
I hope so.
Yeah. Here we go.
But
onto the beach. It's probably freezing. The The water might be warmer than the air temperature. Who knows?
It could be.
Hopefully our signal can hold up here. Looks like we might be dropping out a little bit here. We'll see if we can get a shot or two. I'm sure he's in the water right now, just basking in it.
Oh, his feet are in there.
Oh, there we go. There it is. He's got his feet in the water. It is done, folks. Base Circuit Trail completed.
Wow.
Unofficial time, 54 hours, 1 minute.
Ready to swim? Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Dude.
What was the time you had to be unofficial?
First one in the UK. Swim. Wow.
54 hours, 1 minute, maybe. We got the champagne bottle.
Thank you.
6 hours, 1 minute.
What's up? Water's
They were saying about 64 hours, 1 minute.
Yeah. I got my watch at 53:51:14.
Oh, nice.
227 miles.
227 miles.
Bonus miles in that day.
Sub 54. That's right. He started a few minutes after 6:30.
All right, let's go party.
5 hours. Well, you want to go to the car and talk to Jamil? And
Yeah, let's go.
We can hear you right here.
Thank you. Let's go ahead.
I don't think they can hear you. We're on our
Oh, you'd have to
headphones
give him your earpiece.
Yeah.
It's actually yeah.
I was going to, but get low.
He might want to get warm probably.
Yeah. Where are they connected?
Cole.
Okay.
Like, Chris
Are they
from
headphones?
Ultra on site.
Cole, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. How you feeling?
It's very windy, so I apologize for the. Awesome. I think Matt helped push me to probably one of the faster 5Ks in 200-mile history.
Amazing.
We need a station 5. But no, it's awesome. Like these races, highs and lows. You guys get the first witness of it. See me in some of my low moments overnight, and rallying and think that fine's a powerful thing, and you give it a shot, you're never out of it. So.
Nice. Incredible work out there, man. This is inspiring
We're
stuff.
going to go into the car so you can hear me better.
Sounds good. Take your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being a part of this too.
Of course.
Sounds pretty fresh for 220 miles on the legs.
Definitely.
Front seat, okay. Well, my calf is a little bit swollen, but
Here he is.
Hey, everybody.
We got Cole. We got you live here. Congratulations, setting the Base Circuit Trail FKT sub 54 hours.
yes, I saw that on the clock and was like, I gotta be under 54. So I was like, and what was great was that Matt was like, we had a kind of a running joke about Ben, who was part of our crew. He said he started a hashtag which was drop Matt Dib, and it became a competition between me and him to see who could drop who, and then in sportsmanlike fashion we kind of conceded to finish it in together. So I felt like that's the right way to do it. Kind of a passing of the torch. So, and he I mean, we were hauling, so yeah, can't complain. I mean, that trail, I definitely underestimated it. It gave me a big old butt whooping, and then I just had to dig deep and rally. And thankfully, everyone that came out, Jamil, I gotta tell you, like just people like taking time out of their day just to be on the trail, like with kids, like cowbells and like kids. There was a family that gave me a blueberry scone in the middle of a trail crossing, and it's like that's what New England is all about. Is like, I think sometimes New Englanders maybe get a bad rap, but the hospitality, the community that came out for this. I mean, I'm running 200 miles in the woods. Like, it's a crazy thing, and for just complete strangers to pretty much become like friends and family. It's really, really, really special. So, yeah, I'm just really, I'm really proud of all my end of the bargain, unravel, and put up a good time, and all the way too. So.
You definitely
And cheers.
You definitely set a new high mark there for sure. We also have Patrick Karen on the line as well. I don't know if you have any initial thoughts, Patrick, or questions for Cole.
Hey Cole. First off, big congrats.
What's up, Patrick?
But yeah, just curious. You said you underestimated the trail. What did you find? Maybe you were ready for, or what? Yeah, what came out of nowhere for you out there?
Yeah, I mean, I knew there were some like tough sections, but like there was way more tough sections than I thought through in my like thought process. And that's the thing, is that this Space Circuit Trail, like you look at it, like you look at the stats in terms of the elevation gain on paper, and you're like, oh, it can't be that bad. It's probably pretty fast. And you get out there, and you're just like, yeah, there's only like 30 miles of it that could be fast, and the rest of it is just a slog with rocks and leaves, and everything was wet, and like the swamp areas you're trudging through, like ankle deep if not knee deep water, and like it just never, you can never put your foot off the gas, like never take your foot off the gas. I mean, you have to be full gas through this, because it's relentless. I mean, in a totally different way from what like we're used to doing some of these, more higher alpine kind of events, like a hard rock and that type of stuff. Like this, it's like secret. It's a secret trail. A lot of people don't know about it. Hopefully more people will. And, yeah, it really from the inside out. And I've run a lot of great races, and, this is definitely one of my highlights, so far.
Yeah, I think you definitely introduced a lot of more people to the trail, so that's definitely exciting. And I'm curious, how many miles of the trail you actually been on previous to this FKT? Because I feel like the previous FKT holders, both Matt and Art, they've done a lot of scouting out on the trail, but I think for you, as far as I know, a lot of it was newer. So yeah, how much you scout beforehand?
The answer is not enough. I scouted a little bit over kind of the summer, or like late summer. This was a thing that like was on my radar to do, and circumstances just kind of played out, and me and my wife Ashley, we kind of talked through things, and we had an opportunity to kind of say like, hey, we should do this. Like this just makes sense. Regardless if we have enough time to scout it out and that type of stuff. Like the thing for me is that I feel real confident in the team that's around me, and so like doing the speed project, like I had never seen any of the course out there. We're literally just following a piece of paper that like tells you to turn on like some road in the Mojave Desert, and so I guess I have a comfortability of just kind of figuring things out on the fly. And sure, I added a whole bunch of extra miles, but like even with people that were knowledgeable out there on the course, it's you have to pay attention. And that's the part of the relentless nature of this course, is that it is well marked, but if you're not following your maps and like it's very easy to miss turns, and even for those that are experts. So yeah, it's challenging in all levels, all facets.
We had a question from the chat from Pacer Travel. How are your feet doing?
Feet are surprisingly good. I think I only had like one blister throughout. It wasn't causing any pain, as you can see with the finish. Like I think I learned a lot from Cocodona. The story on that one for me was my feet were absolutely the worst I've ever had. Blisters. The length of the country, like it was hideous, and I took that as a learning opportunity to say, like, okay, there's things that I need to learn to prevent this from happening, and once I learned those things, we've implemented it, and really my feet haven't become an issue since. So my best word of advice for people out there that are looking to do these longer events is, one, don't be afraid of them. Talk to your community, do the best that you can to prepare. And, if you're not always going to hit it out of the park the first time, but if you're open to learning, like, the sky's the limit. So,
Cole, favorite stretch of the trail?
That's a tough question. There is so all the parts where I would love to get great views. There's like one stretch. I think it's near like Medfield or something like that. It's after you go through a town called Ashland, and the sun was coming up, and like you're just going through a beautiful New England wooded trails, and there's like a really incredible vantage point where the sun was just starting to rise up over the horizon. It was just like the perfect way to set up, kind of surviving through day one and then kind of starting day two. So, that had a lot of good symbolism to it. I was feeling pretty good then too. So I'd have to say that, but honestly, the trail itself is so diverse. Like, it does remind me of Cocodona in so many ways, and that's also what drew me to the trail. All the different towns and like the terrain is so varied. I mean, literally, you're going through like swampland and like these like weird sandy like bottoms. You're like in the woods, and all of a sudden it's like sand, and I'm like, am I like at the beach? But you're not near the beach, and it's like, and then you're going through like true like pine needle woods. You're going through like, you're going like behind a trail by like a pump house and stuff that's like all hidden, and then all of a sudden you enter into this whole like state forest land. It's really cool. The fact that the Appalachian Mountain Club was able to even like develop this trail is a magical feat unto itself. Because when you think about it in terms of like the Northeast, like we're one of the most densely populated areas in the country, and to have a 200 and we were trying to recall things, and I'm like, I don't know where I was when that was going on. It's like, I don't know. There's something really special about that trail. You are put in place like just parts of the New England that you just would never see in your life. And it's peaceful. It's tranquil. It's really special. It's a special trail for sure.
That's an amazing recap. Cole, I know you had several different tiers of goals out here. I'm just curious. I know you didn't want to put that out there in advance. Like, are you satisfied with your performance out here, and like you feel good about how everything went? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, could I run faster? Would I like to run faster? Sure. Like, that's like in the hindsight kind of thing. But in many ways, I think I underestimated what I was getting myself into. I do think that, a really fast time is attainable faster than what I did. It's just going to take a perfect day, perfect weather conditions, perfect execution, perfect team and support to do it, because I can definitely say that one of the biggest things that surprised me the most was that physically for me, I've never had every single part of my body hurt except for my like brain and my head. Like, literally, you could like touch my pinky finger and it was like throbbing in pain. Like, and it just goes into the whole nature of what makes New England Trail so difficult and unique and special and just gritty. So yeah, am I gonna go back and run the Bay Circuit Trail? To be determined.
Well, what you did in highlighting this trail, I think, is amazing. I think there's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of people now that know of this, that hopefully will be targeting this either in pieces or in whole. So amazing work out there. I was truly impressed too, just by the whole Chaos crewing team, the support. I mean, I was a little taken aback by like when I think one of the stops on day one, they're like 1 minute warning, we're going to get you out of here. Is that something like you guys all talked about in advance, like minimizing those stops along the way?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, especially, Jamil, I mean, you have a good pulse in terms of what's going on in trail and ultra running, and I think as a sport, we get more of an influx of young, more vibrant kind of athletes coming into the whole matrix of competition. I feel like, minutes are going to become seconds in terms of margin of victory, and so one of the things like that I learned a lot from, again, Cocodona as a great example, because that was my first official 200-mile race, and I was humbled greatly. I was really proud of my finish and a resilient finish. But there was a lot of learnings that came from it, and one of the big things is, oh crap, I'm losing my train of thought. What was I saying?
Minimizing aid station time.
Oh yes,
athletes.
Thank you. Sorry, that's the 200-mile brain. I'm telling you. So in terms of those margins, like we're seeing it even in Western states, right? It's like the more that you can, and here's the other thing is your body's made to be in motion, and so taking like time needs to be done in a productive manner, and so having those kind of like shot clock warnings, it's just a way to really communicate kind of the situation of things. And there were times where I'm like, no, let's add another 5 minutes and that type of stuff. Like, but I knew in the next one that I needed to be more on point, because if I'm conceding time now, I want to try and make it up further down the way. And so, we had a really good plan in place to not dilly-dally. One of the things we worked on was pacers would text our kind of like crew leaders, informing them of some of the things that I needed and wanted. And so while in advance, I'd roll into the aid station and everything that I really need is there. And then it's really just the additionals, right? It's like, oh, I could go for some gummy bears right now too. Why not? But I have everything else that I need that's already curated perfectly. So I do see that that's going to be something that we're going to hopefully see more of, and really show that crewing is an essential part of trail and ultra running as a sport. I mean, it takes a village, it takes a team to be able to do these things and to do them well, and it's also way more fun. If I just went out on the trail and did this by myself, this experience would not have been the same whatsoever. The fact that I was given the opportunity to be able to bring people into this and have them as active participants, even if they're not running the trail with me, though some did, it's that to me is how the sport grows. For example, Kelsey is a part of Chaos Crewing. Like, she would say, I'm not a runner. We recruited her for TSP, the Speed Project, and she just dove right in, and she's become a part of the community. She may not necessarily go out there and log miles, but she's just as valid and important in relation to just your standard runners and whatnot. So that's what Chaos Crewing is all about. Doing events like this, that's something that motivates me a lot. And that's why I chose the Bay Circuit Trail, is really to have an opportunity to bring people in, because I felt like there is an opportunity and a need to showcase this trail that I've heard great stories of, that I got to know kind of in a more surface level, but now I definitely have a deep dive.
Patrick, you have any more questions for Cole? I don't want to take all your time this afternoon.
Yeah, I gotta let him get some sleep. 2 questions. One actually being about sleep, and just in terms of room for improvement. With sleep, did you feel like you got a good balance of sleeping time versus moving time? I know that can be, Matt, our previous FKT holder, was sleeping 6+ hours a night. You took a strategy of a lot less sleep. Did you feel like that proper ratio, or maybe too much, too little? Yeah.
One of the things that I learned, like we implemented a different sleep strategy at the Speed Project, which that run was about I finished it 346 miles, just under 93 hours, so 3.8 days. And one of the things that we worked on was instead of having like little naps all throughout, which that's something that I tried to do at Cocodona, but then I just got behind in the sleep bank. And the thing is, what I've been learning is that you just can't. It's one of those things where like the mind is just as important as the physical in terms of feeding the machine, in terms of putting the calories in, doing all that stuff. Like, that's one of those additional factors in these 200-mile multi-day events. And I just think that like for me, like if I can sleep every 24 hours, if I can get an hour of sleep, and then we're cutting down on the aid station time, so I'm not spending 20 minutes in every aid station, I can use that time and allocate it towards sleep. And I think that's something that was a big learning for me was, I don't really need to take, 10 minutes through every checkpoint. I can do, say 1 to 5 minutes or something like that. And I'm saving 5 extra minutes, and that 5 extra minutes can, over time, over days, really add up. So it's just about being purposeful with time. And again, what I learned was instead of sleeping like less but more frequently, if I could just do a full reset and recharge, take that hour, fall right asleep, and then it's like you're starting from almost like square one again. It takes a little bit to like reboot. It's like rebooting a computer. But once you kind of get out on the trail and you're kind of like warmed up and ready to go, like you feel incredible. And so, I will say that I did have, before I ended up taking my second nap and stuff, I knew it was going to be a factor. I pushed really hard. There's this really tough 17-mile section in some like a swampy park, getting somewhat closer to the finish line. I think it was like maybe like 3 or 4 checkpoints from the finish. And I was like, I wasn't hallucinating, but I was definitely seeing like multiple things on the trail and just had a hard time like paying attention to what was out there. And I took an hour and a half instead of the standard hour because I felt like I needed a reboot. And in doing so, I mean, I feel great. I mean, this is like one of those few, for me, one of these like multi-day events where I'm like, I hit the finish line. I'm like, okay, I feel good. Like, and that's what I wanted this to be about. Like, why come into the finish line and just be like a zombie? Like, why not show it a little bit of power of what you can do, and just be smart about things. So I'm really just proud and humbled by this whole experience.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, and one last quick question, just would you change anything with the time of year? I know, I mean, weather was sort of maybe in your favor, just the colder temps made it probably a little bit easier. But, I've been on those trails a few times in the past couple of weeks, and just with like the fall foliage, it can be pretty hard to see where the actual trail is. Did you find time of year wise, if you had, any opportunity to do it? I know your schedule sort of dictated it to be this time of year, but yeah, would you change anything about the time of year, maybe for recommendations for future FKT attempts?
I mean, I have had a crazy like October, but like to do it in early October would be awesome, just because it's like that whole saying Boston in the fall kind of deal, and just being able to see a little bit more of that the fuller colors and foliage would be really cool. Other than that, though, talking to Matt Dibb about this when we were running together, when he paced me for like the last like marathon or so, he said like the fall is probably actually one of the best times. Like, you're gonna have precipitation and colder weather and stuff, but like there's less people out on the trails to begin with too, so it's almost like you have this whole 200-mile trail to yourself, which is nice. So I think no matter what time you pick, there's gonna be pros and cons. I am happy that I chose the fall because it felt symbolic in many ways, and for me, like it was nice. It kind of fit the ethos of the trail, which is kind of like this like hidden gem that just flies under the radar. And so doing it the time I did it, no one was expecting some guy to be running 200 miles around this trail, the Bay Circuit Trail. So
awesome, love it.
Well, that's awesome, Cole. Sorry. Yeah, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I want to let you celebrate with your team and your crew. It's been inspiring, truly awesome to be part of this experience, and I no doubt know it will inspire others to take on this attempt or find that trail in your own area. I mean, there's more and more, I think, of these regional trail systems that are popping up all over the country. And so, yeah, take a look around, get involved in your local organizations. I think there's some great groups, just like the AMC up there, like putting this together. Yep. I mean, these trails are not built in a day or a year. They're built in decades, really. I think even I was reading the history of this trail. I think the initial seeds and pieces were like the 1920s. So it's amazing to see what it can become over time. And yeah, like you said, we're lucky to have these, these kind of playgrounds to test ourselves in this sport and see what's possible. So thanks for being an inspiration, and man, shout out to everyone involved in this, from chaos crewing to track leaders, fastest known time. Like, the whole ecosystem around FKTs is getting to be really exciting right now, and hopefully, showcasing some of these are going to help just build the stoke level even more.
Yeah. I do want to say thank you so much, Jamil, to the whole Aravaipa team. What you gave us is an opportunity to have a voice, and something that probably would not have been shared with the people that don't live in New England. And so from the bottom of my heart, thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity, because this was just a really, really special moment, I think, for all of us, and hopefully for all of those that were out there watching. And come over to New England anytime. We got great seafood, great local shops, great scenery, great running trails, and above all things, a great community.
Nice. And I do want to mention, please go over to Chaos Crewing, go to their events page, and at the very bottom, Cole is raising money for the Food Recovery Network. So if you can donate, if you enjoyed following along and want to support Cole and the team up there, please do so. Cole, any closing thoughts, or Patrick, any closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
Patrick?
Nothing for me, Cole. Just congratulations, and enjoy some well-earned rest, and I'll see you at some New England event soon.
Definitely got to take you up on that Stone Cat offer. And Jamil, I'll see you at Black Canyon.
Awesome. Thanks so
double,
much.
Right?
Double?
Doing the double. Why not? Go all in.
Love it. That's going to be great. Well, looking forward to it, Cole. Enjoy time with your team. Have them get some rest as well.
Sounds good. Thank you, everybody.
All right. That is going to wrap us up. We may do a more formal post-show with Cole and the team potentially here. Once he and them get rested, I think it'd be kind of fun to do a deep dive on maybe the crew aspect as well and how they held up. But this is going to do it for FKT Showdown Base Circuit Trail Edition. Thank you all for joining in the last 2.5 days. It's been a lot of fun. And I'll just throw it out there. If you have an FKT attempt coming up and you want us to do some coverage, we'd love to do more FKT Showdowns. So message us on Instagram. Other than that, be sure to subscribe for more. We'll see you soon.